Ladies and geraniums, now, hello and welcome. It is Saturday night, and so of course tomorrow, Saturday night the 13th of March, tomorrow of course, as we all know, is Mother's Day, and so for this one I'm going to play Mum's very favourite guitar tune on this absolute really wonderful 20th Anniversary Squier Strat, and we'll have, but it's in fact it's the standard series gold label, when the gold label actually meant a bit of something in those days. So usual kind of thing, we'll have a listen to it within a musical setting, and then I'll run through the pickups and tell you what I can about it. So let's go. Okay, I hope that was acceptable, and now we'll have a little listen through the pickup selections. Of course, we've got a 5-way blade switch, as is of course totally standard for your Strat, and we'll start with position number 1, which of course is the bridge. Lovely. Position 2. Into the centre. Number 4. And finally the neck end. And it's quite obvious from the name that the positions are given. Positions 2 and 4 in between the three pickups are called the hum cancelling positions, and that is for a very good reason. They do actually cancel out the hum. I don't suppose this microphone will pick it up, but certainly that is what they do. Great guitars, spanky and warm. All right, okay, that's enough of that. Let's have a jolly good look round it, and we'll tell you what we possibly can. So I bought this on a famous auction site from a very delightful lady in Lancaster. We'll call her Victoria, because actually that's her name. And I'll be quite honest with you, when I bought this, what I hadn't realised was that it was not only a 20th century, and I'll briefly explain this to you. I've had a few 20th century, I'm talking out my hat as usual, 20th anniversary, and I've had a few 20th anniversaries through the door, and when the last one went, I really, really regretted it more than I can tell you, because for some reason those 20th anniversaries, I don't know why, I cannot tell you why, but they're just a little bit sweeter than the others. My favourites include the 1990s Yakko plants, the 20th anniversaries, and the classic vibes. They're my favourite Strats, and I actually rate those iterations of the Fender Squier probably above most of your actual genuine Fender Stratocasters. So, but I mean, these things are all subjective, aren't they? So that's just my personal preference. So what I hadn't realised was, when I bought this, was that it's actually a standard series. You can see on the tip of the headstock there, and as we know, the standard series are probably, well, they're certainly better than the bullets, and in fact they're a notch above the affinities. So I was thrown to get this, and I can tell you that this one will not be leaving my possession because it is superb. It has everything I want. It's in a kind of Richie Blackmore black, or Rory Gallagher Gallag, and the paint finish is in fact slightly sparkly. I don't know if that comes through there on the camera, but anyway, yes, it is. It's slightly sparkly, slightly metallic, and it is in beautiful nick. To say that it's 19 years old, it's in absolutely, utterly astonishing condition. Beautiful maple capped neck, and of course there is no skunk stripe on this, which means that the truss rod went in before the maple cap was slapped on top. And you've got your Goto style tuners. I would assume that they are 14:1. They could be 18:1 or 16:1. I don't know. I've not counted the winds yet because I've not put new strings on it, and it does need new strings. So I will measure it because I'm a nerd when I in fact do that. But all good around the headstock. As I say, it's got that beautiful gold Squier label, when the gold label actually did mean something. Standard series, as we can see. So maple neck, maple cap, metallic finish or sparkly finish body with a white scratch plate, as you can see, and a 5mm insert tremolo or whammy bar. Well, it's actually not tremolo, that means something different. It's actually a vibrato arm. And this one is the 2-pivot one, which means that it's not strictly synchronous. It will actually wobble backward if you set it up in that way. So you've got your standard 2 tones, your single volume, and a 5-blade switch, all working absolutely brilliantly. And And what else can we tell you about it? It weighs in. It's a nice medium weight. It's not as heavy as the old Yakkos, but it puts plenty of power out. It's got that groovy new style rear access control plate, cavity control plate here, so that you can actually get a screwdriver in these areas here to tighten or loosen the springs for the vibrato unit. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. But if you are in the market for getting one of these, the 20th anniversary models, as it hails quite clearly on the backplate there, are just a little, for some reason they're just a little cut above. I don't know why, they sprinkled a little bit of unicorn dust on them, and they don't crop up as often these days as they used to. So you are looking for the usual things. You're going to look for any defects around the neck pocket area. A little bit of lacquer crack is absolutely fine. You know, very frequently you'll see a couple of nicks in it. That I don't think this one has any, as it turns out. But a couple of little lacquer crack, until he said knacker cracks. Anyway, lacquer crack nicks are absolutely fine. Don't worry about that. It's gaping holes that we don't see, or any deep wounds. Superficial scars are absolutely fine. So that's pretty much the guitar done as much as we possibly can. And now just a little quick word about Mother's Day. It is Mother's Day tomorrow, and so buy your mum a card, and or if there's anybody even who's been treating you like a mum, just buy them a bar of chocolate. It's a nice thing to do. So happy Mother's Day mum, and it's adios amigos. Ta-ra.